Hello art students, this is Mrs. Brand here. Today I'm going to talk to you about oil pastels. Oil pastels are pigments mixed with non-drying oil or wax and pressed into stick form. The oil is what helps them to be more blendable than crayons. Oil pastels have the ability to be blended and mixed with other colors for beautiful results. All of these artworks were created with oil pastels. Oil pastels can be very messy, so a few general tips before working with them would be always create with newsprint underneath to catch the oil pastel flakes. If you don't have newsprint, you could use newspaper, but something to protect the surface that you're working on. The oil pastel flakes can get on any surface and cause stains and other problems. Keep a rag or paper towel handy to wipe off the dirty oil pastels. Because we use oil pastels to be blended with other colors, you need to clean the oil pastel before you use it with a different color so that you're not bringing colors in that you don't want. Be careful not to get oil pastels on your clothes, cloth furniture, or the carpet. I've had this happen to me before, and it's hard to wash oil pastel out of clothes. So when you're working with them, make sure you're wearing an apron or a shirt that you're not that attached to. And lastly, clean up your space afterwards. You want to wipe any oil pastel flakes you see into the trash can. I like to work with a trash can near me so that I can brush them into the trash as I'm working. But again, oil pastels can get messy and create these little flakes that will find their way onto your clothes, so be careful. When working with oil pastels, there's several different techniques that we will practice. The first is blending. Blending is shading from one color to another without obvious transitions. It gives it a more painterly effect. This picture of an apple is made up of several different reds and oranges, and then includes whites that have been blended on to add highlight. Oil pastels will have a different look depending on if you use a heavy pressure or a light pressure. On the left, you can see something that's called light pressure blending. When you're using light pressure, the white of the paper that you're drawing on will be able to be seen through the oil pastel. For light pressure, you want to lightly add the oil pastel in one direction and then layer colors to achieve a variety of hues. For heavy pressure blending, as seen on the right, you're going to generously add oil pastel in one direction and layer the colors to achieve a blended, rich look. I will say that you probably can only layer maybe 2 to 3 colors with these oil pastels. If you try to layer more than that, you'll notice that the colors will start to look a little bit gummy or off. Another technique that we will learn about is called scumbling. Scumbling is applying scribbled marks of oil pastel to build up value and texture. You can tell if you look at the apple on the left that the artist used 3 different shades of green and scumbled them together, scribbled it together, with the lightest shade in the middle showing a highlight. Another fun technique is called sgraffito. Sgraffito is overlapping 2 thick layers of color and using a tool to scrape away a design and reveal the color underneath. You can use a colored pencil for this. You can also use a toothpick, but my go-to tool for scraping away oil pastel with sgraffito is the end of a pin cap. The last method we'll talk about is stippling. Stippling is using small choppy strokes to create texture, and you can layer additional colors for depth. I like using stippling a lot because of the texture that it adds, and it's an easy way to fill in the whole paper without pressing too hard on the oil pastel. This image of a tiger was created using stippling, and it gives the illusion that the tiger has fur. All right, for your asynchronous assignment today, you will create a swatch paper of your oil pastels that came in your kit. So watch the next video and learn how to create your swatches. The materials that we're going to work with today include newsprint to protect the surface that we're working on, our set of oil pastels, and one piece of 6 by 12 paper. Begin by unfolding the newsprint so that it's underneath your paper. Next, you can open up your box of oil pastels and have it sitting near you. I'm going to start by writing the word swatches in the corner of my paper. When I create these swatches, I want to try to go in order of the color wheel so that I can see right away what analogous colors are available to me. So I'm going to start by finding the 3 darkest reds. One of them is called a brick red, one's called red, and the other's called red orange. To create your first swatch, you're just going to apply pressure, maybe a little bit harder to get a darker value, and then a little bit lighter to get a lighter value. You're going to continue to select your colors, trying to keep them in the order of the color wheel. And applying them with varied pressure so you can see light and dark versions. Now that we are finished with our swatches, we can put the oil pastels back in our tray. I'm going to keep them in the color wheel order so that I can see the analogous color schemes that are available. Now that we're finished, be sure to take a photo of what you've created today and attach it to your classroom assignment. Also, your hands are probably messy, so make sure you wash your hands. To store your practice, just fold it into the newsprint that you are using today, and then you can put it back in your supply bag. This way you won't get oil pastel on any of your other papers. Thanks for watching.